We believe that the diplomatic path is the most effective way to ensure that that doesn't happen. But as we've had occasion to discuss in recent weeks, despite the fact that we've made abundantly clear over the last 9 months that we are prepared to return to full compliance with the JCPOA if Iran does the same, what we are seeing, or maybe more accurately not seeing, from Tehran now suggests that that they're not, and time is running short because, as we've also had an opportunity to discuss together, we are getting closer to a point at which returning to compliance with the JCPOA will not, in and of itself, recapture the benefits of the JCPOA, and that's because Iran has been using this time to advance its nuclear program in a variety of ways, including enriching uranium to 20% and even 60%, using more advanced centrifuges, acquiring more knowledge, and so that runway is getting shorter. I'm not going to put a specific date on it, but with every passing day and Iran's refusal to engage in good faith, the runway gets short. And so, as the foreign minister said, we are discussing this among ourselves, and we will look at every option to deal with the challenge posed by Iran. We continue to believe that diplomacy is the most effective way to do that, but it takes two to engage in diplomacy, and we have not seen from Iran a willingness to do that at this point. With regard to the second part of your question, Will, I mentioned this in my opening remarks. We believe strongly that Palestinians and Israelis equally deserve to live safely, security, with equal measures of freedom, prosperity, democracy, and we will continue our own efforts toward that end. And in a sense, I can't stress this enough. Advancing equal measures of freedom and dignity is important in its own right, and as a means to advance toward a negotiated two-state solution. So our approach will be to work toward a more peaceful, secure, prosperous future for the people of the Middle East as a whole, and for Israelis and Palestinians as well in particular. We are unwavering in our commitment to Israel's security, and we will work to strengthen all aspects of the U.S.-Israel partnership. To advance the goal that I mentioned, we will work closely with Israel, deepen our diplomatic ties with the Palestinians, and consult with partners in the region and beyond who have a common interest in supporting efforts to advance a lasting peace. And as I said in May, we'll be moving forward with the process of opening a consulate as part of deepening those ties with the Palestinians.
We'll turn to Una Leipson from Channel 12.
Thank you. First question, Secretary Blinken. You just mentioned that all paths are on the table and the diplomatic path is your preferred path. But is a military path also something? Is that something that you're considering that is also on the table? And the second question is, Israeli officials, including Prime Minister Bennett, have said that Israel is operating all the time against Iran nuclear deal, including that it has the right to defend itself. Is that something that is being done in coordination with you? And a question to Minister Lapid about Abraham Accords. Have other countries been discussed? Is it going
You have to raise your voice a little bit.
A question to you about the Abraham Accords. Are other countries being discussed? Has there been any kind of process or something new that you can share with us about the efforts joining other countries? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy to start. First, to be very clear, Israel has the right to defend itself, and we strongly support that proposition. We've also been clear, as I said a moment ago, that we believe a diplomatic solution to our concerns with Iran, concerns that are shared among the three of us and among many countries around the world, including our European partners, including Russia and China, that a diplomatic path is the best and most effective way to do that. And so we've been clear that, as I said, we would like to see a mutual return to compliance with the JCPOA, but Iran's responses, or rather lack thereof, have not been encouraging. So even as we remain ready to return to talks and think that we should do so soon, if Iran has a realistic position, we continue to believe that we could reach an agreement on a return to mutual compliance. But for the reasons I cited a few minutes ago, the runway that we have left to do that is getting shorter and shorter. And so we are watching Iran's comments,